Hi, this is Andy Moore. This is my first narrated wildlife movie, and I'm doing it because there's some backstory to some of these events happening, and I don't want to type a bunch of subtitles. I'm just going to tell you about it. It centers around this rabbit, and one just like it, but without a notch in its ear. I call this one Notch. I call every other rabbit not Notch. What you're looking at is a rabbit who is preparing a place to be a rabbit nest. There's two cameras. You're looking through one, and the other one's on the back wall facing the rabbit. I move cameras around, and where I think there's going to be some action, I move them where I think it's going to be. So this rabbit is going to return to this place hundreds of times. Here's the view from the other camera, and a deer is coming in to nibble a flower off of that bush there. I decided this camera position was too glary in the sunshine, so later I moved the camera somewhere else. This is a favorite bush of the local animals, including these deer. They can be a little pushy even with each other, like you'll see now. And they're always concerned with what's going on. Those ears are moving around like radar. This is the next dawn. And the place where the rabbits are hanging out is right beyond the deer, in the corner, beyond the bush there, the corner of the building. And we had a nest there, a rabbit nest there, a few years ago, but I think coyotes ate them, so it didn't work out. That was a dove, either a white-winged dove or a mourning dove. The doves are also looking around for nesting places, including rafters and eaves and places like that. And we don't let them build one over our front door, but that we have other places they can build nests, and I'll show you later some of those places, or one of those places. So there's a lot of standing and sniffing the air and peeking up and looking around and hanging out for a while to see how safe this place is. This is a regular place that bobcats, coyotes, the deer you saw, and many other animals go through on a daily basis this time of year. So it's a pretty weird place to be selecting, in my opinion, to be putting a nest for your soon-to-be born young ones. But that's what's going on here. So this is just looking out, experiencing the area, waiting for something to happen, or hopefully not. Meanwhile, in the backyard, I have this other camera. I call it my good camera because it's higher resolution than the other 5. And I was trying it out here. I put a bowl of water there. And that's a house finch, a male house finch. And the red cage around the camera is one of those plant climber things. I didn't want the javelina to mess with my camera like they always seem to. That's an Abert's towhee, one of the most familiar birds around here this time of year. That's a curved-billed thrasher. You'll see that bird a lot too. Its bright orange eye is really kind of maniacal looking, I think. And that's a cactus wren. Anyway, I was saying that I'm trying to protect the camera from the javelina, but then eventually, a couple days later, I abandoned this. I moved the camera elsewhere. And here's the adjoining dog yard. We don't have a dog, but we have a dog yard. And this is a good place to put a water dish. Same birds you saw at the last place. That's a white-crowned sparrow there. Forgive my voice. I have a lot of allergies, especially right now in spring, so my voice is a little strange. This sparrow, this white-crowned sparrow, or ones that look just like it, just loves to bathe. Spends a lot of time. This is a camera position, also has the disadvantage of the back glare. I mean, it's kind of pretty, but it's not good for the details of how the bird looks, so I'll be moving the camera soon. So now this is back in the front where the rabbits are building a nest, and I'm putting this danger warning here because our gardeners are coming that day, and my partner's going to tell them not to rake this area or do any step on it or anything, and I marked it. As I waited for them to come, and as I was reviewing the other locations, I found that these doves were making a nest in the carport, a little opening up there in the center top of the screen. You can see two, one sitting on a nest on the left and then the other one coming and going. So I went up on the roof. This is me going up on the roof with a camera and attaching it near the nest. So this is the first time I tried to get a close-up of a dove's nest and leave it there. And I finally got the camera in position, and through settings on the camera, later I changed the cropping. There it is. And voila, I have it. Only problem is that when I check back later, well, when we get there, you'll see. This is a piece of a palm tree, the bark, the husk on a palm tree. Neighbors across the street have a palm tree, and this is to illustrate how this is a whirlwind, a little gyre, a little place where things blow in and blow around and activate my cameras that are activated by motion. Even the little blade of grass in the center bottom of the frame can make the camera go. So for all these shots you're seeing, there are literally hundreds of others. Okay, the moment has come. The gardeners are here. They've been told, stay out of that area. Don't do anything. I'm in my room. I get a message that someone's there. I turn it on, and I see this. I'm sick. I'm apoplectic. I'm shouting, no, that's exactly what I don't want you to do. So I was inadequate. We were inadequate in, he's scratching right where the nest might be. And he obviously didn't even see my camera because he's throwing a bunch of gravel in front of it. Anyway, it was a very sad, angry moment. I didn't want to rush out there and scold him or anything. We have to learn to communicate better with this particular gardener. I'll save you some suspense. The rabbits will come back, and they will look like they are attempting to make this place a nesting spot. I don't want you to be discouraged yet. But I was very discouraged at this moment. And yet, I wasn't nearly as discouraged as I would be about an hour later when I was on my way. I was leaving our driveway in the car and going to pick up some food. And, oh God, more insult to my camera. We put out our trash that morning, and when I was leaving midday to get some food, and I drove up our driveway, I glanced at where the trash cans were, and they had been toppled over by javelina, and they had spread our trash and our garbage all over the street. This isn't them, but this is someone else in the neighborhood, just so you get an idea what they do. It was worse than that. And so now our garbage is also caught in this rabbit gyre. This corner of the front of the house, the front of the front yard, I think that's turns out to be a Whole Foods receipt. Yeah, it is. There it is. The next morning, it's just traveling around and round and round, hopefully not scaring away the rabbits. Huzzah! A rabbit not named Notch is back. I'm thinking this is the mother, the female, and that Notch is the father, but I really don't know. These are cottontail rabbits, by the way. So once again, we're in the routine of sniffing around, checking back, being on the lookout, sensing how dangerous this area is. So this is the image from my dove nest camera. What happened overnight was that the mount of the camera slipped and it was pointing down. So here I had to get out. I just decided not to go up on the roof. I'd go up on a ladder and restore it to the right position with the right cropping. And I could do that from the ladder, which was nice. Then later that night, I check the camera and, oh no, the same thing happened. It's the middle of the night and the camera, either something sat on top of it and pushed it down, or it just, from gravity. We have some big owls that fly through that carport and sometimes roost there, so I have a feeling doves might not have the weight, but an owl would have the weight to swivel that camera on a little tripod that's clinging to those pipes. Next morning, I'm gratified to see Notch along with the partner. It's dawn. They're either annoyed with each other or they're frolicking or courting. They're active. Coyote walking by, slight limp. Nighttime, the deer come back again, have a little late night snack. And then the next morning, look at this. It's not a baby, but it's definitely a juvenile cottontail. So there are other nests nearby, and this one is coming over here and sensing the scent of the adults and rolling around in it and scampering around very cutely. And at night there's more adult visiting and scoping out. And here's my new setup in the backyard, in the dog yard, with the water dish and all the same birds before. The bathing white-crowned sparrow, the curb-neck thrasher here. The cactus wren. The dove. Oh, and see that little lizard running along the bottom of the building? That's a zebra lizard, and they're very, very fast. It's hard to see. It's now perched on that rock. This is a pair of Gambel's quail. I would guess within the next couple of weeks they'll be bringing little ping-pong-size babies here, and it'll be super cute. If I keep the water in there, which I do. White-crowned sparrow, champion bather. Rabbits drink slowly with lots of little tiny sips. Oh, you know what that is. That's a lesser goldfinch. There certainly is a pecking order here, but it's fluid, it changes. I mean, these two are coexisting just fine, but one of them will get spooked sometimes and like this, or try to fight off an interloper. Oh, there's a bobcat walking right past that rabbit area. Stay tuned to see what happens there and on the rest of my property this spring. Thanks for watching.